Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is day 45 of my journey to learn Japanese, and this series of live streams, it's all about documenting my progress at learning Japanese, having started as a complete beginner. And my goal for today is to continue practicing some basic kanji. And so we're here on the Lingo Command website, and as I did in the previous live stream, I'm going to go to the vocabulary section over here. And I think the best place to start for today's stream is to revise what I did in the previous stream. So let's take a look at the animals section over here. And I'm just setting up the stream here on my phone as well so I can read the comments. But yeah, so we're here on the animals section and we've got this table with English on the left and Japanese on the right. Now, as you can see, the Japanese is in Romaji. And we can press this button here to see the pronunciation.
鳥、猫、鶏。
And what I'll be doing is I'm going to select hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So now the Japanese has kanji as well. And in order to test my ability here, I'm going to go to the quiz section and I'm going to swap the languages. So now, let's say that I uncheck that option. The question is being posed in English. And it's asking what is the kanji. Whilst if I press swap languages, we see the kanji is the question, and then we have to answer with the corresponding English. Now, if you do this quiz over and over, you kind of get used to the order in which the questions are asked. So what I like to do is I like to press random ordering. And what that does is that it scrambles the order in which the questions are asked to kind of keep the user on their toes. So let's make a start here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is horse. Okay, very nice. And then this one here, both cow and sheep, the kanji for that look pretty similar, but this one is cow. And then this one here, by the way, the readings here, so horse is uma and cow is ushi. This next one here is usagi, which is rabbit. So let's type that in, rabbit. Fantastic. And then the next one, I'm pretty sure this is bird. Because actually, okay, I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to type in bird. And we'll see what happens. Okay, fantastic. I'll explain what's going on there in a moment. But this next kanji here is neko, which is cat. This one that looks very simple, it's dog, inu. This one is fish, sakana in Japanese. This is the one that looks pretty similar to the kanji for cow. This one is hitsuji, which means sheep. This is buta, which is pig. And this next one here, you'll notice something interesting. So there are actually two radicals here. The one on the right is the radical for bird, right? So if we scroll up, we can see that this kanji here is actually contained in this kanji at the bottom. Please excuse the cough. And then the kanji on the left, I suppose the reading for it is niwa, although technically this is just one kanji, so it's just niwatori in one go. In any case, this is chicken, which is a type of bird, so that kind of, let's call it, is internally consistent. So that's pretty nice. We've got 100% here. So let's move on to body parts. Oh, and this is already quite a bit more tricky. I think that this kanji is ude, which is arm. Fantastic. And then this one, I think it's senaka, which is back. Okay, we're on a roll here. And then this next one is onaka, which is stomach. So the furigana for that kanji on the right is naka, I presume. But in any case, let's put in stomach. And then this kanji here, its pronunciation is ashi. Now in Japanese, both leg and foot are both called ashi. And so we can type either answer here. So let's just put leg. And that actually leads me to another thing that I want to point out. So in English, you've got like a single leg. You use the word leg. And then when you're referring to both of them, you use legs, you add an S. So the S denotes that it's plural. And loads of languages have that, but Japanese actually doesn't. So whether you're talking about leg or legs, it's both ashi. Eye or eyes, it's me. In general, Japanese does not distinguish between singular and plural. So that's something to point out. Moving on, this next kanji here is atama, which means head. Okay, nice. This is kuchi, which means mouth. And then this next one is te, which is hand. I remember getting this wrong on the previous stream. I'm just gonna drink some water here. This next one is ashi again. And on the previous one we put leg, so we might as well put foot here. And then I always find that the kanji for ear and eye actually look very similar, but the one that is got this like diagonal line at the bottom is ear, and the one where every line is horizontal at the bottom is eye. And that just leaves us with yubi, which is finger. And just to show that it doesn't matter, we'll put fingers, and that's also accepted. So we're on a roll here. That's another 100%. So let's just continue. Let's go with clothes. Now, of course, we're practicing kanji, but not all words actually have kanji associated to them, right? So Japanese is an amalgamation of hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So what we've got here is jaketo, which is a loan word, presumably from English. And so there is no kanji here. This is just simply what it sounds like. This is jacket. And then this is zubon. I'm actually not sure from what language this was loaned from, but I do know that it means trousers, or if you're an American, pants. And then this next one. So actually, the second kanji has the sheep radical. I'm pretty sure this means underwear. And to me, that sort of makes sense, right? Because underwear quite often is made from, like you have like wool underwear, or like where wool is in the material, which comes from a sheep. So this is a bit of a stretch to try and remember this, but let's put in underwear, see what happens. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Now actually a new feature has been added, and it's kind of relevant in this case. So if we go to, we're doing body parts, and I'm just opening this in a new tab. Let's select hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And we were in the clothes section. If we take a look, yeah, so we were looking at underwear. And here we've got this thing called a furigana kind of breakdown. So for every kanji, we've got the equivalent hiragana slightly slightly above it. So this first kanji, its pronunciation is shita, and the second kanji, it's gi. So together, underwear means shitagi, but that second kanji, its reading is gi in this case. Now this next one is once again katakana. It's necktie, which means necktie, or like in plain English, a tie. And this is kutsu, which is shoe. And then here we've got two kanji, and note that the first one is the kanji for shoe. It's actually socks, or sock. I think that this next one, which has two kanji, is boshi, which means hat. Skato is skirt, that's just katakana. Seita is sweater. Skafu is scarf. So it looks like we've remembered the content from yesterday's stream fairly well. Moving on to colors. Let's do that one. So you'll see this kanji on the right for multiple words. It means color. And this first kanji here the way that I remember this is, let's say this bottom radical, it almost looks like it's a house with a roof. And so the way that I remember this is, I think of a tea house, they serve tea. And so this kanji here on the left, it means tea, which in Japanese is cha. And then the kanji on the right, its reading is iro. So as a whole, this is pronounced chairo, and that directly translated means tea color. Now tea is brown, so this means brown. Moving on to the next one, there's a lot going on here, but it's just murasaki, purple. I think it's got something like 17 strokes. It's pretty convoluted kanji. And then this one, it's katakana, so it's just oranji. That's straightforward enough. It's orange. And then here we've got one kanji with two radicals, and it's it's ao, which means blue. The next one here is red. This is, and by the way, red is aka. This next one here is kuro, which is black. And in my opinion, this next one is kind of interesting when you also compare it with purple. So purple has three radicals. The bottom one, so if you look at the bottom radical, let's zoom in a bit further here. That's actually the same radical that's here on the left for green, which is midori. So that's useful when you're trying to write kanji. These radicals kind of appear over and over. And so when you remember these subsets of kanji, it makes the memorization part a lot easier. The next one here is pinku. Note the little circle above hi. So that's handakiten, so H goes to P. So this is P, pinku. And then here we've got iro again on the right. But on the left, we've got what's actually the kanji for flame, and then it seems to have some kind of roof on top of it. That kanji on the left is actually the kanji for ash. And so the way that I try to remember this is, I'm pretty sure if you deprive a flame of oxygen, you'd get ash. So this kind of logically makes sense. That's how I like to remember, at least. And it's hairo. So the kanji for ash is hai, and then the kanji for color is iro. Together that's hairo, which is gray. That then leaves us with kiro, which is yellow. And then shiro is white. So that's also going well. Why don't we now try days of the week? So we covered this in the previous live stream also. So the first thing you'll notice when you look at this is that the second and third kanji, it's repeated. And well, if you know the days of the week in Japanese, right? It's getsuyobi, kayobi, suyobi, mokyobi, kinyobi, doyobi, and nichiyobi. And so when you're listening to that, you notice this yobi just keeps repeating over and over. And so that's what the second and third kanji are. The first one, though, that's where you make this distinguishment between what day of the week we're looking at. And so when the first and the third kanji match, I think it's Sunday, nichiyobi. Okay, great. Then we've got the kanji for fire. I think one of the readings for it is ka. So I'm going to guess that this is kayobi, which is Tuesday. Just checking that the audio is working. And then this next one, I'm pretty sure it's mokyobi, which is Thursday. Oh no, that was off. Okay, so we got our first mistake, that's fine. So this is suyobi, which is Wednesday. Okay, moving on. This next one here kind of looks like a house. you tend to go home for the weekend. You're not in the office anymore. You start the weekend on a Friday. This is my kind of convoluted logic to try and remember this kanji here. I'm pretty sure this is Friday. Let's take a look. Fantastic. And then this last one here, it's a cross. I'm pretty sure that was Saturday, which is Nichiyobi. Fantastic. So what does that leave us with? I think this first kanji is Getsuyobi, which is Monday. And then this kanji would be Thursday. So the one that really tripped me up was Suyobi. How am I going to remember this? Let's take a look at the stroke order. So we'll open a new tab here. And actually, we can also now look at this furigana breakdown. So we'll select hiragana, katakana, and kanji. We'll go here to Wednesday, and we see that this kanji, its breakdown is indeed sui, kind of as expected. Sorry, I kind of zoomed in too far there. So let's go again. So this first kanji is sui. The first stroke goes straight down, then we've got this kind of zigzag shape, and then it's 3 and 4 here. That means sui. I think the only way to really get this to correct is just sheer repetition. So we'll go again. This is doyobi? No, nichiyobi? Saturday. Let's take a look actually. Saturday. Oh no, doyobi is Saturday, nichiyobi is Sunday. Oof. Okay. This is getsuyobi, Monday. When the first and third kanji are matching, we're looking at Sunday, that's nichiyobi. The flame one is ka, so it's kayobi, that's Tuesday. This strange kanji is Wednesday, suyobi. And this kanji here that looks like a kind of like a house. Oh, so it's furigana would be kinyobi. Let's just confirm that. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's its reading is kin. This is kinyobi. It's Friday. And then this here is moku, mokyobi, Thursday. Okay, we're gonna do one more round. Reapply random ordering, scramble the order of the questions again. Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Sunday, Saturday. Great. Let's now try months of the year. This should be pretty straightforward, right? Because we're just looking at the numbers here. So it's April. This kanji here, it's the kanji for 3, right? So it's going to be March. Here the kanji is 2, ni. So this is February, because that's the second month of the year. One thing to point out, so for April, of course 4, you would say yon. There are actually 2 ways to say 4 in Japanese. You say yon when you're counting, but for months of the year, the reading is shi, or that's how you pronounce it. So this is not yongatsu, it's shigatsu. Same thing here actually. So this kanji, it's 9. It's kyu when you're counting. For months of the year, its reading is actually ku. So kugatsu, 9th month of the year, September. And then here we've got the kanji for 10 and then the kanji for 2. Because 2 is to the right of the kanji for 10, you're going to add. So this is 12, December. And you would pronounce this Junigatsu. So let's put December. This is Hachigatsu. That's 8th month of the year. August. Here we've got that same kanji again, right? That's 10, and then to the right of it is one horizontal stroke. So we know this is ichi, which is 1. So this is the 11th month of the year, so that's going to be November. Gogatsu, 5th month of the year, May. Here we've got 10th month of the year. Jugatsu is October. Ichigatsu is first month of the year, it's January. Now it's tempting here to say Nanagatsu, but once again this has an alternative reading when you're not counting. So it's Shichigatsu. Let's write that down. So this is the 7th month of the year, that's July. Fantastic. And then this kanji here, it's Roku, that's 6. Rokugatsu is the 6th month of the year, that's going to be June. So that went fairly well. We're getting close to the full amount that I've studied for kanji, right? So let's just quickly wrap up numbers. And so we've applied random ordering again. That kind of keeps us on our toes, challenges us. And this kanji here on the left is 100, it's hyaku. The kanji on the right is man. So this actually means 100 times 10,000, which is a million. So let's write that down, a million. This is 4, yon. This is 3 horizontal dashes, and it means 3. That's simple enough. This is 8, hachi. And then this one, it's senman. So sen, the kanji on the left, is 1,000. The kanji here on the right is man, which is 10,000. 1,000 times 10,000 is 10 million. So let's write that down. 10, comma, 3 zeros, comma, 3 zeros. Sweet. That then leaves us with go, which is 5. 2 horizontal dashes, well that's just 2. Once again, simple enough. And then this kanji. So I think it's something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 strokes in total. Its reading is oku, and it means 100 million. Fantastic. And then this horizontal dash on its own just means 1. And then here we've got juman. Juman. And so it's going to be 10 lots of 10,000, so that's 100,000. And I want to point out something interesting here. So we actually have a word for 100 and a word for 1,000. And something that trips people up. So why don't we go to the, let's write this down. So we'll go here. When you want to say 100,000 in Japanese, we know that juman is the correct answer. But you might think to yourself, well, 100,000, that's also 100. Let's zoom out here. Why don't we just say that it's, actually, what is the correct stroke order here? I think it's 1, 2, yeah, that looks better. You could say that it's 100 times 1,000. And so this is the stroke order for 1,000. And so you could think, oh, 100,000, well, that's simply hyaku sen, but it's not. The way it works in Japanese is the second kanji, it needs to be the largest number that fits into what you're trying to say. So if you're trying to say 100,000, in Japanese, the units when counting is 100, 1,000, 10,000, and 100 million. And so 10,000 actually still fits into 100,000, but 100 million doesn't. And so you have to put 10,000 on the right here, and then you just ask yourself, what do you multiply that by in order to get 100,000? So this is a mistake people tend to make. They say it's Hyaku sen, which is incorrect. It's actually juman. Moving on. We actually spoke about this just now. So this is sen, which is 1,000. This we also spoke about. It's 100. And then this one, it actually looks just like maru, but it doesn't have that third stroke at the bottom. This is actually Q, which means 9. And then here we've got rei, 0, and maru. These are 3 different ways that you can say 0 in Japanese. And then here we've got ju oku, so that's 10 lots of 100 million, so that's a billion. So we'll do 1, comma, 3 zeros, comma, 3 zeros, comma, 3 zeros. This here is ju, so that's 10. Roku is 6. This is nana, which is 7. Now this is a little bit confusing. So there's a dash here on the left. And so this actually is reading as ichiman. It means 10,000. But earlier, 10,000 was just mon. The way this works is, for example, in English, you would say 100. But if you omit the 1 and say 100, that's still correct English. Now imagine in English, you had to specify 1. That's how it works in Japanese. So you cannot say 10,000, you have to say 1 10,000. However, let's say you want to say 20,000, which is 2 lots of 10,000. You don't say 2 lots of 1 10,000. You can skip the 1. And so that's what was going on in the case above. Fantastic. There was actually one more that we covered, which was locations. But it's been a while. The second one here is toshokan. It's a library. Hoteru, katakana, obviously means hotel. And then this kanji, notice that we've got the horse radical on the left. Now, back in the day, I was reading this on Google, a station had horses in it to like deliver post. And so that's actually why historically there's this horse kanji in the word for station, which is eki. So let's just write down station here. But that makes it kind of simpler to read this. This is byoin, which is hospital. Supa is supermarket. And then, I wonder actually what the furigana breakdown is for this. But this is eigakan, which is cinema. This is panya. And kind of by process of elimination, this has to be the furigana for this kanji here on the right must be ya. Panya is bakery. Restaurant, that's restaurant, is a loan word again. And then what is this? Okay, so we've got, I gotta log in here. We've got 2 that I'm not sure about. What other locations was in this quiz? So it's a bit silly because I'm trying to use process of elimination, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so koen is park. That was on this list. Koen is the top one. So this is park. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And this bottom one. It's school. School was, okay, so eigakan was cinema. Gakko is school. This is school. Okay, so a little bit dicey there using processes of elimination to read kanji, but we got there. Let's now dive into unknown territory. Why don't we take a look at maybe basic food items? No, that's majority is katakana, so that's too easy. Yeah, this is perfect. So we've got a list here of irregular adjectives in Japanese. Now, of course, we can start doing kanji, but it's been a while since I even looked at this list. So let's practice writing the hiragana when we get the We'll start with the easiest step. So we're going to get the question in Japanese using hiragana, and then we're going to try and write the English. So teine, I think means polite. Kire is clean. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. Oh, it's been so long, such a while since I looked at this. Shinsetsu. Not sure about this one either. Oh, it's kind. Ochitsuita is calm. Kenkou teki is, let's take a look, healthy. Yutaka is rich. Kantan is easy. Finally, we got something. Koka is it's expensive. Nice. Seijutsu. Is that calm? No. Let's put calm. Honest. Okay. Hokori ni omou. That is it proud? Yes. Okay. Hogaraka. No idea. Let's take a look. Cheerful. Yeah, so I think it was definitely the correct approach to kind of try and remember the vocabulary first, right? Because otherwise, what are we really doing here? Yume is famous, and bimbo is poor. So the performance here was also quite poor, 46%. So let's redo the quiz, reapply random ordering, and try and increase the percentage here. Ochitsuita was it calm? Kire was not clean, it's actually beautiful. Bimbo is poor. Hokori ni omou is proud. Kantan is easy. Yume is famous. Seijutsu is Is that calm? Oh, it's honest. Kenkou teki. Kenkou teki. Healthy. Okay. Yutaka is that kind? That's rich. Shinsetsu is that kind? Shinsetsu is kind. Koka is expensive. Hogaraka was cheerful? Okay. Teine is polite. So okay, that's 85%. It's a little bit better. What did we get wrong here? So seijutsu means honest. I've kind of forgotten this multiple times. I remember last time I learned this list, I was struggling with seijutsu, and so we need to kind of try and find a way to link this to other stuff we know. So what I'd like to do is go to the irregular adjectives section again, and then let's look at it for kanji. So seijutsu, which means honest, has two kanji. Let's zoom out here. Honest, honest, honest. The first kanji, it's furigana, is sei, or its reading is sei, and then this is jutsu. Seijutsu. Let's see what this second kanji actually means. So let's put this in Google. What is the meaning of this kanji? Truth, reality, fruit, nut, or substance. It represents the literally substantial or full nature of things, such as a fruit on a tree or facts in reality. It's a third grade kanji. So that means Japanese students learn it in the third grade. Interesting. So it makes sense that that kanji is in the word honest, seijutsu. So I think with that bit of extra context, I might now be able to remember that seijutsu is honest. So let's reapply random ordering, and we'll go again. Kantan is easy. Yume is famous. Oh, I'm not even reading. What am I doing? So we're going to reapply random ordering, scramble the order of the questions again, and this is kenkou teki, which is healthy. Shinsetsu is kind. Binbo is poor. Seijutsu, well, we just spoke about that for a while, so that's honest. Because this second kanji, jutsu, it means honest, the truth, fruit from a tree, all that stuff. And then we've got hokori ni omou, which means proud. Yutaka is... what is yutaka? Yutaka. We'll come back to that one. Teine is polite. Hogaraka. Oh, this is getting hard. This is the same list. What's going on? Kire is beautiful. Yume is famous. Ochitsuita. Skip that one. Koka is expensive. Kantan is easy. Yutaka is rich. Hogaraka is cheerful. Ochitsuita is... so we know that seijutsu means honest. Ochitsuita is calm. Okay, so that's our first 100%. But I kind of skipped around, used process of elimination. We're going to do one more round, and now we're going to do them consecutively, no skipping. So first one here, kenkou teki is healthy. Teine is polite. Hokori ni omou is proud. I'm just mistyping. Let's go again. Ochitsuita is calm. Seijutsu is honest. Yume is famous. Yutaka is rich. Kantan is easy. Kire is beautiful. Hogaraka is cheerful. Binbo is poor. Hokori ni omou is proud. Kenkou teki is healthy. Koka is expensive. And then Shinsetsu is kind. Teine is polite. Fantastic. So we got 100%, no skipping around. So I think now we've got the correct background to start practicing the kanji. We know the words, we know the hiragana readings. And so let's make a start. So This second kanji here, once again, it's got this radical for sheep. That's interesting. This looks like it's probably ochitsuita. Ochitsuita. And so then this is just o. This is su. And ochitsuita meant calm. Now I remember that this kanji meant truth, the fruit of a tree, all that. So this actually just means honest. Okay, we're getting somewhere. This might be hogaraka, which means cheerful, right? Because we've got this little hiragana at the end as a hint. But it's not, it's yutaka. I see, so it's rich. This is interesting. We see the same radical that we see in green and purple here. Hogaraka. So this means cheerful. And so that means that in this case, this kanji has the reading hoga. Hokori ni omou. Proud. So there's quite a few kanji here to learn. Why don't we know? Because the rest of them, there is no hiragana as hints. There's nothing to go off on. So what I like to do when I'm comfortable with about like a subset of the content is I like to select the words that I'm struggling with, because there's no point kind of when you want to learn new content, kind of going over and over on content you already know. So this ochitsuita, which means calm, we don't really need that. We just need this one over here, this. You know, it's good to focus on your weaknesses in this case, in my opinion. This one we got wrong though, so we'll take that. There we go. So now we can hide the unselected words. And now we've got a quiz containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 irregular adjectives in Japanese. And I don't know any of them for the kanji. Whew. So this first one is beautiful, which is kire. And I'm gonna open a separate tab to see the furigana that corresponds to each, because I think that will help kind of cement this new content in my mind. So this is ki and this is rei. Kire. Kire. You can even look at the individual kanjis and see what they mean. So if we go to irregular adjectives, kire. Let's take the first kanji and put in Google, what is the meaning? So it means beautiful, gorgeous, okay? And then the second kanji, which is rei, is also means beautiful. So it's just beautiful twice. Fair enough. So this is beautiful. Kire. This is what is this? Hogaraka, cheerful. Okay. So let's go again. So we have beautiful, cheerful, kantan. So the first kanji is presumably kan, and then the next one is tan, but we can confirm that. Here's kanji for kind. Sorry, we want easy. So, yeah. First kanji is kan, the next one is tan. So we'll go from the top again. So it was beautiful. Hogaraka is cheerful. This one here, it's kantan, which is easy. And then let's take a look at this. So this is expensive. Expensive is, what was it again? It was yutaka? Expensive. Expensive is koka. Koka. So the first kanji, its reading is ko. The next one is ka. We'll go from the top again. So this is beautiful. Hogaraka is cheerful. And then these two kanji, its readings are kan and tan. Kantan is easy. And then this was koka, expensive. What about this next one here? Yume is famous. Famous. Okay, so this is yu, this is me. We'll go from the top again, so this is beautiful. Hogaraka is cheerful. This kanji is kan, that one's tan, this is easy. And then we've got koka is expensive. Yume is famous. Now there's a lot of kanji here. Kenkou teki. Okay. And healthy. Let's look at the breakdown here. So it's kenkou teki. Fair enough. So we'll go from the top again. So beautiful. Just kirei. This is hogaraka. Hogaraka is cheerful. Kantan is easy. This is koka, which is koka was expensive. Yume is famous. And then kenkou teki is healthy. This is senjutsu, which is honest. And then, God, there are a lot of these. Yutaka is rich. That leaves us with 3 kanji that we're not familiar with. So let's take a look. Kind is shinsetsu. Shinsetsu. This is teine. Presumably, this is te, this is ne, okay. And then this last one here is binbo. Let's go from the top. So, and actually we're gonna start applying. Okay, so we're gonna make this quiz a bit harder. So we're going to uncheck hide unselected words, reapply random ordering. So this is yutaka, which is rich. I think this is, skip that one. Skip this. This is ochitsuita, which is calm. This is yume, which is famous. This is teine, which is polite. This is kenkou teki. The first kanji is ken, the next one is ko, and then the third one is teki. Kenkou teki is healthy. Hogaraka is cheerful. Hi there. Thank you for joining the stream. This one here is bimbo, which is poor. And then hokori ni omou, I think this is, which is proud. How are you doing? This is koka, which is expensive. This is kire, which is beautiful. And then this second kanji, it means the truth. And actually, right, truth is a noun. It means honest. So that just leaves us with, I think, only 2 kanji. What could this be? I think, is this kantan, which is easy? Okay. And then this last one is, I always struggle with this. Kind is shinsetsu, I think it is. Kind is shinsetsu. So why don't we do another round? So we're going to reply random ordering. And this is yutaka, which is rich. Koka, right? The first kanji is ko, the next one is ka. Koka means expensive. Ochitsuita is this next one here, that's calm. Kenko teki is this here. This is Kenko teki is healthy. This is seijutsu. That second kanji means truth. Its reading is jutsu in this case. And so all of this together means honest. Because if you're honest, you tell the truth, right? And then this is, the hiragana actually really helps here to kind of try and see what this is, because this is hokori ni omou. So the kanji here is hoko, and then this is mo. Hokori ni omo. So this is omo. Let's just check that on this separate tab. Hokori ni omo. Hokori ni omo. That's very interesting actually, because it's got a different breakdown here, which is not ideal. So I'll take a screenshot of this. And if I go to pages, we can make a note of this. Hokori ni omou has different hiragana, katakana, and kanji text in furigana breakdown and in the quiz. Check. Words for consistency. In any case, if we go back to our quiz here, this quite clearly is hokori ni omo, so it's proud. This is bimbo, which means poor. This first kanji is yu, this is mei. Yume is famous. This here is kire, which means, so kire is beautiful. And then this must be kind, which was shinsetsu. Shinsetsu is kind. This is teine, which is polite. Hogaraka is cheerful. And then this is kantan. Easy. Fantastic. So That's pretty good, right? We got 100% here for irregular adjectives while reading the hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And so this might actually be a perfect place to conclude the stream for today. But I'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff if you enjoyed the video. That would really help support the channel. And it would also help support me to continue developing lingocommand.com. That's the website we're currently looking at, which also comes with a accompanying iOS app. That's basically the exact same functionality, but in a mobile app on iPhone. But yeah, in any case, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next live stream. Take care.